Hi everybody, Peter Vogt, the introvert advocate here. Just enjoying the pitter-patter of the rain on a day of drizzle here in northern Minnesota. And today's video is about your strengths as an introvert and how, oddly enough, they are often portrayed or seen as or framed as weaknesses, which you can ultimately use to figure out what your strengths are. But in the short term, it's sort of frustrating that your strengths are often portrayed as weaknesses, as weak spots, as things you should work on or fix. Let me give you an example of how this works and how you can use this kind of backwards measurement, if you will, this barometer of sorts, to figure out what your strengths are, to pinpoint what your strengths are, because they're often hidden when you're an introvert. You may not even know them yourself. So suppose, for example, you're at work and you're at a meeting and it's an hour and a half long meeting, and you spend most of it, if not all of it, just sitting there listening, taking notes, and doing nothing else, or so it seems. I should add that. You may have been in this situation before and had somebody either imply later or straight up tell you later that they need more engagement from you in these meetings. You're not participating enough. You're not speaking enough. You're not involved enough. And it's framed as a weakness. But if you look at that, if you look at the opposite of that, we all remember Newton's third law, right? For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. You can sort of do the same thing with introverts and strengths. For every so-called weakness or downside that you have, weak spot that you have, there's an equal and opposite strength. The more and more that I go through life, the more and more that I realize this. In the situation that I just described, for example, what are the strengths that you are just demonstrating without even trying, basically? First of all, you're listening, which much of the world, especially today, is not doing at all. You're incredibly engaged in the conversation. You're almost certainly taking mental notes, if not physical notes, the whole way. You're processing it the whole time. And who's going to be the person maybe an hour or two or a day afterwards who comes up with some kind of solution to the problem that was being discussed, some kind of new idea to the challenge that was before you? Who's going to be that person? Man, it's very likely going to be you. Why? Because the strengths that you demonstrated in that meeting, as maybe as hidden as they were to some people in the meeting, were still there. You were listening. You were processing. You were interpreting. You were figuring things out as you went. All of that just comes naturally to you as an introvert, and it's so frustrating when it gets portrayed as some kind of weakness. You might have gotten tagged at one time for not being much of a team player, not enough of a team player. You need to collaborate more with people, be a bigger part of the team. Well, what if that means that you work really, really well alone, and that you don't need to be babysat by anybody, and that you stay focused on the task at hand, and you can just do things without having a bunch of other people to prop you up all the time? What if that's the case? And so you can see what I'm getting at. So the point of the video today is that when you either frame it yourself, if there's something in your life that you even yourself think is a weakness, or more likely, it's something that is portrayed to you as a weakness, either verbally or non-verbally, if you get the implication from somebody that it's something you need to work on, I challenge you and invite you to see if that points to an associated equal and opposite strength, because I bet you every time, if you give it enough time and attention, it will indeed point to a strength that you didn't even know you were using, and maybe you didn't even realize that you had. So I hope that gives you some food for thought today, again, on this lovely rainy day here in northern Minnesota. Thanks as always for watching this video and all the other ones that I produce. If you'd like to learn more about what I do with introverts and introversion, as always, come visit me on my website at introvertinsights.com. Particularly if you've got some individual questions on anything, or you're wrestling with some kind of introversion related problem, I do one-on-one coaching for that purpose. If you're interested, you can find out all about it again on my website at introvertinsights.com. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.